What's the crack, everyone? It's Ollie from B2B Sports here, and in this video today I'm going to be telling you the 3 reasons why Kevin O'Connell is the perfect head coach and is the head coach to take the Minnesota Vikings to the promised land. He's going to win us the Super Bowl. No messing about in this video today. Let's jump straight into it with number 1. He is an offensive play calling mastermind. Now, Kevin O'Connell won the Super Bowl with the LA Rams in the 2021 season. He was the offensive play caller in charge there with Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, the Triple Crown season. He was able to get Kupp open time and time again. And this caught the attention of many franchises across the league. He was destined to become a head coach in the NFL, and he got his opportunity in the 2022 season. The Vikings snapped him up alongside their new GM, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, and it seemed to be a match made in heaven for Kevin O'Connell and the Minnesota Vikings, and it still is to this day. Justin Jefferson's numbers over the past 2.5 seasons speak for themselves. In his first 2 seasons at the helm of the Vikings, Kevin O'Connell became the fastest head coach in team history to reach 20 wins, needing just 30 games to do so. The Vikings went 13-4 in his first season, and although there was many close one-score games in there that season, he did incredibly well, took them to the playoffs, didn't get the job done in the playoffs that we'd all hoped for, but in hindsight, an incredible season all in all. His second season, not so much, but you can argue the QB changes were a massive factor in there. Kirk Cousins was playing an MVP level before he went down injured, and this season we've got off to another incredible start, 6-2, exceeding many fans' expectations at the start of the season. And particularly this season, Kevin O'Connell's scripted play calling at the beginning of the game in the first quarter is outstanding. We've got off to flying starts, scoring multiple touchdowns in the first quarter. I think there's a crazy stat out there, I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but we've outscored opponents in the first quarter by 50-60 points. And I think what I've been really impressed with this season as well is the multiple targets that we've hit. At times, it's been the Justin Jefferson show, of course it has, but Kevin O'Connell has spread the workload out quite evenly. We've seen Jalen Naylor receiving multiple touchdowns this season. Now we've got TJ Hawkinson back into the mix. Josh Oliver has had an incredible season so far. This offense is so dangerous when Kevin O'Connell is calling these plays and getting multiple guys involved. But not only culturally, but tactically, Kevin O'Connell is such a huge change from the previous regime of Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer was very defensive-minded, old-school head coach, whereas Kevin O'Connell was the new-minded, new-school, sort of offensive play-calling coach. And that shift, it's just been drastic for the Vikings. It's been a breath of fresh air to be able to score points freely, and ultimately, if you have the mind of Kevin O'Connell and the playing ability and athleticism of Justin Jefferson, it's a marriage made in heaven. That combination can take you all the way. And number 2, Kevin O'Connell's man management skills are out of this world. From Jordan Addison to Anthony Richardson, you saw the other day in the post game, and even the locker room speeches when he's bigging up his guys. This quality in a head coach is so hard to find, and all the players love him and respect him so much for it. If you look at Jordan Addison, for example, he's had a couple of off-the-field incidents, reckless driving, etc. But there was a clip that did the rounds the other day of Kevin O'Connell speaking to Jordan Addison after he scored that incredible one-handed touchdown, saying how much he loves him, saying how much his team appreciates him, and how much he deserves to be here. And that arm round the shoulder mentality just goes the extra mile with these players these days. The culture's different and society is different these days, and some players do just need an arm around the shoulder rather than a good telling off. And that shows with Kevin O'Connell. He treats them all like a head coach, but also like a friend as well. And in my personal opinion, you will only see the benefits from that. The Anthony Richardson situation the other day, when the Vikings beat the Colts, Anthony Richardson had got dropped in the week for Joe Flacco, a young quarterback who'd thrown a couple of interceptions, not done so well, not given the opportunity that he'd hoped for. And then you have Kevin O'Connell again putting his arm around him, telling him how special he is, telling him how you're going to make it in this league. That could go such a long way. And it just shows the kind of guy that Kevin O'Connell is. And you know, we're just so genuinely lucky to have him as our head coach of this franchise. And even the post-game speeches, you know, there's a reason why they go viral every single week on Twitter. You know, he gets knocked for giving out too many game balls, but he cares, man. He cares so much about this team. You'd run through a brick wall for Kevin O'Connell after these speeches. And he's just a guy you'd want to play for and a guy that you'd want to win for as well. And this just makes me so excited for 2025 and beyond with JJ McCarthy. You know, Kevin O'Connell, the impact that he can have on a young JJ McCarthy. I think that it hit us when he went down at the start of the season in pre-season with that knee injury. But I think sitting on the sidelines, watching Sam Darnold, watching Kevin O'Connell and speaking with Kevin O'Connell is only going to benefit him and the Vikings franchise. And before we jump on to the third and final point, I'd really appreciate if you could whack the like button on this video, give my channel a subscription, it means the world to me. The Minnesota Vikings, Chelsea Football Club and sports on a whole is my absolute passion, and it means the world if we can grow this channel and get to 50 subscribers before the end of the year. Much appreciated, guys, thank you. And yes, the third and final point, why Kevin O'Connell will take the Minnesota Vikings to the promised land. He will win us that first Super Bowl title that we've all been dreaming of. He is the QB whisperer. KOC has this relationship with quarterbacks that I don't think any head coach in the league has. He's able to get the best out of players on a quick turnaround, on players that have been dumped out of the league, that are players that have been given up on, and he's been able to turn it around, turn ship, and get the best out of them. In the 2023 season, it was all going so well. The Vikings hadn't got off to the best start, but they found their rhythm, they found their feet, and Kirk Cousins was playing at an all-time level. We were trending in the right direction, we were making moves in the division, and then bam, he pops his Achilles, he goes down, you know, the Vikings in disarray. We pick up Josh Dobbs in the trade deadline alongside our second-string quarterback Nick Mullins and our third-string quarterback Jared Hall. And those 3 weeks after Kirk Cousins went down were the most wild 3 weeks I've had as being a Minnesota Vikings fan. The Vikings won 3 consecutive games with different starting quarterbacks in weeks 8 to 10. You had Cousins before he went down, then you had Hall, then Dobbs. And as a result of that, KOC became the 11th head coach in NFL history to lead a team to 3 straight victories with 3 different quarterbacks. The ability to dumb down play calls in some instances, the ability to speak to the quarterback on a level to hype him up and build an environment for him to thrive, it is so key. You know, Josh Dobbs, the passionate, was that guy for 2 weeks. It was incredible. He believes so strongly in his quarterbacks and he trusts them deeply. You could see that when he's talking about Sam Darnold this season in some of the media sort of interviews he's given. You know, he's talked about how other franchises maybe have given up on Sam Darnold, whereas he hasn't given up on him. He believes that Sam Darnold can play at this level at the NFL, and we've seen that this season. The ability to create schemes that suit that quarterback best is so key in this league. Darnold is playing at the best level he has done since he got drafted, and that is solely down to KOC and his man management and QB whispering skills. His play calling ability, everything. He's that good, I'd even trust him to make a first down play in the league. We're genuinely so lucky to have a head coach like KOC in the building, and he will take us to the promised land, no doubt about it. He's only 39 as well, one of the younger coaches in the league. Plenty more to learn for him, but what I'm seeing so far is just outstanding. And as I said, this year with Sam Darnold, he's been an absolute bonus. I don't think anyone expected us to be 6-2 at this point in the season. I'm looking forward to see what we can do for the rest of the season and into the playoffs. And 2025 and beyond, like I've said, with JJ McCarthy, that is going to be some special stuff. But yeah, that is my 3 reasons why KOC is going to take the Minnesota Vikings to the Super Bowl. Let us know your thoughts down below. But as always, thank you very much for watching and listening. Big love, SKOL Vikes, and peace out.